Thank you, Reddit. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you, beloved Shannon and Nana, for joining me on the YouTubes as well. And to the rest of the friends joining us in hindsight. Is it hindsight? Yeah, yeah. Technically, you're watching in hindsight right now if you're watching it in recording. It's not late, it's just hindsight. I'm gonna go get myself some water and then I'll join you in a bit. Love you, Shan. Excuse me. Ooh-wee! Indeeders and greetings unto you! Specifically you. John Beloved. I'm so sorry for the close up. I had to. I was like, I got closer, and then I'm like, even closer. And then the even closer was like, even closer, dude. And then I could only get that close. Maxine! Thank you for joining me. So nice to have you here. We're not smoking weed on stream today. I haven't smoked any weed today. And I'm like, yeah. And it was, it's almost comical. Like, I had multiple reasons to smoke today. We have multiple power outages again here in South Africa. I'm sorry, Mama Guy. I'm not being violent. I'm just being a baby. That's some good Ermias Splur. You know, like when the power just abruptly goes off, everything just dead. Then it's like real easy to be like, yo, sick. I'm gonna get super blazed now. And then I noticed my mind being like, sick. I'm gonna get super. And I was like, nah. How about no? How about no, brain? And brain was like, fine. And then I went to go and give my yoga class, and I kind of set everything up in the way that I do before I come and stream. And I set my bong up, and I make sure I know where my grinder is, and I want to go and get a nug to crush. And then I'm like, as I'm going to the yoga, I'm like, I'm not gonna smoke today. I say to myself, and then I'm like, okay. I go and I give my yoga class. I come back and I go through the whole process of again trying to take my bong with me, and I'm like, no, dude, you're not gonna smoke today. So yeah, hell yeah, feel like an alien today. We're gonna be feeling like aliens. Our pan is janky for me. It's the audio that's weird. I can hear you, Mel. Sickland. Thank you for, for telling me, Fred. So nice to have you. Princess Mononoke. You might be joining us on the YouTube now then. I hope it's better on the YouTube. I heard yesterday that there was some jankiness with the audio, but then upon revisiting the same stream, the audio jankiness was no longer jankified. Any reason you aren't smoking? No, no particular reason, Lindsay. No particular reason. I just felt like I'm not gonna smoke today. From that perspective of what is the experience gonna be like talking about the topic we're gonna talk about. And technically it very much is a stoner topic we're talking about today. But my mind was like, nah, fam. How about you take a little bit of a break? I didn't even feel bad. I didn't even wake up feeling like that tired this morning. I just had this feeling, I guess. A little bit more clarity for today. Oh, read us something we're saying. I found it. Man, this is it's kind of trippy because this is now bringing more of an esoteric slash philosophical perspective into what I initially thought was just going to be a playful stream topic. And it goes, the world will seek to nail you down to earth by insisting that you think with it. Sounds like a good reason to me. Yeah. Just intuition, right? Like just listening to self. I'm trying to listen to self. We're gonna have like 2 more hours of power outages a little bit later, and I think I'm gonna smoke then, and I'll smoke then, and I'll spend those 2 hours meditating. But I feel it's gonna be more beautiful if I don't smoke at all until I do it then. So I'm gonna meditate 2.0 or something. I don't know. But again, this thing we're saying, the world will seek to nail you down to the earth by insisting that you think with it. Today's stream topic comes from this perspective of being alien, you know? The fact that technically we are the aliens. As much as we are united with everything, we are alien in the way where we're not it. Myself usually says the opposite. Mine too. Mine too, Lynn, where it's like my ego is like, yeah, we're not going to be smoking anymore. And myself is like, funny guy. Who says you're in charge, fam? And then I still end up smoking. But today was the other way around. I totally feel like an alien. You 100% are an alien. So today's topic is kind of surfing this medium between acknowledging the fact that we're not just humans, right? That you are soul experiencing a human. In the same way a astronaut could experience space, you are now as a body experiencing humanness. That on a weird level, this thing is the alien within this realm of existence. And by extension, our planet is our spaceship. Instead of a window, we have an atmosphere and magnetic waves, that keep us kind of safe. Isn't that wild? You are on the spaceship Earth right now, dear friend, as an alien flying through space at absurd speeds. At absolutely absurd speeds. It is fantastical. Jovan, enjoy Viv, even Peppermint Vananoke joining from the YouTubes, even Gateway Process. Love to you too, friend. You must have the sweetest watermelon. It tastes amazing. It really does. I mean, tastes like water. I don't know if I'm tasting water or if I'm tasting my lip gloss, lip ice, lip oil, lip something. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it is. It is. I feel the magic in it, right? Like all of the vibrations that is now being held in that little water molecules and being is being put back in my body. That's the part that makes it magical. And then okay, thank you for the love, friend. Joe V sending love as well. Joe, meat vehicles, our meat vehicles, meat world. Good. Peppermint Mountain, okay. It's kind of odd being an alien sometimes, especially when you realize it. Especially when you realize it. And there are different things that helps us notice. You know, I feel weirdly enough the way that we're thinking, you're not the boss of me ego. You're not my dad ego. He would like to be though. Now that's sending me through a whole different fractal than your ego wants to be your dad. mm mm. It wants to be your creator. Yeah, isn't that interesting? It wants to be your creator, being technically an infinite source itself, having technically access to the same infinite source you do, but instead of creating everything, it creates itself. And that's its job. Your ego really wants to believe that it is itself, and everything else is not itself. If that isn't alien, then I don't know what is. Thank you for the wholesome seal of approval, Auntie. I appreciate that love, friend. How are you doing? How's the hill? How's Uncle Becker's? How's Emma and Bobby? How are you? Len, I hope you have a great day. Thank you, friend. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that. What a difference. I feel I feel kind of melancholic, in this moment, upon acknowledging that we're aliens. I would like to bring into our imaginations the aliens we've been, and I've shared this story before, and Jovan reminded me of it. But it was such a surreal experience that I had in May. Yeah, on the morning of the 14th of May. I think so. This was after like a week and a bit of not smoking at all, and as we were talking about, my instead of my ego, it was myself. The deepest part of me that is beyond just this fleshy vehicle was like, marijuana time. And I was like, but I haven't slept yet, and it's like 5 a.m. And my brain was like, marijuana time. So I was like, I obliged, kind of sat down, packed myself a good bowl, and I smoked it. And I decided, instead of kind of distracting myself, instead of going and doing something else with this experience that I've now put myself into, I'm going to meditate for 11 minutes and 11 seconds. And the first thing that came to me in that experience is just the recognition of breath, like genuine recognition of breath, where I could notice each breath with more depth. As in, as I was inhaling, I could feel, it felt like I could see the numbers associated to these things. I don't know how to explain this perfectly, but there is information ceaselessly in this body, right? And I'm pretty sure there are sensors inside your lungs that tell you the capacity of your lungs at that particular point. I don't know if I'm butchering it. I'm so sorry. So these sensors usually just kind of work in the background. They don't necessarily have to be actively acknowledged or noticed. But in that moment, upon smoking, it felt like I had access to all of these sensors. So as I was breathing, I could feel my lungs expanding and contracting, and I could specifically notice the breaks in between my breaths, where it felt like eternities. And I just sat there, inhaling deeply all the way up, holding just long enough to feel that space, and then choosing to exhale, feeling all of that exhale, holding at the bottom long enough to again choose the inhale. And I sat with that. And the more I sat with that, the deeper and deeper the experience I was having started becoming. And the next thing I knew, I found myself in some sort of representation, is the best way that I can think of it. It was like something that the archetype of myself was trying to show me in a way that it could could indicate information. You know, it was technically noise, but I was trying to extrapolate information. Kartha, love you. Sending you goodbyes, friend. I'm telling a story of a while ago now. And then as I start to get into this analogy, basically, I see what looks like a Jesus character, if you will. You know what we think of as the Christ consciousness, and this Christ consciousness is passing me something, you know, and I in that moment acknowledge slash recognize that my neurology is trying to show me the information of the torch being passed on to me. You know, that's the way I was interpreting it. And I see this torch coming to me, but as it comes through the infinities, it goes from being a torch to being a joint in between this Christ consciousness's fingers. And I'm like, oh, he's passing me the torch. He's passing me a joint. I understand. And I go out to reach out to take this joint from him, but it's not my arm reaching out. And at first I'm like, whoa, that's that's not how my arms look like. It was like this. I don't even know how to explain it. Like three fingered, green. It was. It had like milk. I cannot even start. But I reach out and I grab this joint, and I see myself as this alien. I see only an arm. I couldn't see this arm. I could see only this arm reaching out in my field of vision, but it's not my arm taking this joint. And I was like, I reached out trying to take this thing as my human, if you will, and I couldn't get it. This alien got it. And then I see that alien hand doing the exact same thing. And it passes it down to another hand and then to another hand. And it like, oh man, it went almost multi-dimensional where I could see these hands passing things one by one by one. And then it started duplicating, showing me all of these different hands who have carried this torch, who have smoked this same joint, for example. And I kind of let go of this want to have it, if you will. You know, this grasping, reaching out to, trying to get this thing that I thought was being passed to me. And as soon as I let go, I kind of open my eyes again and I see my hands. And I realize that there is no separation, that the torch is this thing that you are right now. That Christ consciousness, that light, that torch, that joint that's being passed, the thing that is lit, is you, is literally your consciousness. The consciousness that you are in this body that you are, have been in a infinite, an actual infinite, right? I say that with intention, an infinite amount of different forms. You've been an infinite amount of aliens, infinite amount of gods, infinite amount of microorganisms. And yet here you are, again, as that consciousness, as that light, as that torch in this darkness. And I've never had an experience quite as surreal as that one. Just when it comes to like a sense of deep recognition and feeling that what we can think, what we can feel, and what we can make out of our imaginations can be so significant if we want it to be. You are significant if you believe so. You leave it to be, Fred. Thank you. Thank you for believing in yourself. I appreciate you, friend, so much. Thank you for listening to the story. No, energy has been different all week, Melty. I wonder why, Joy Vive. I wonder why. This last week I've been doubting myself a lot. You know, we ebb and flow in between these feelings of I know what's going on, and like the last week, I felt very stupid, very stupid. You know, like that's stupid. You know, and I've just been doing that. Still been showing up regardless of it. Still been trying to be present. How am I today, Joy V? Now I'm self-reflecting. Now I'm imagining me watching myself. Being like, please, self, stop looking at me. Hello, Melt. How are you? I'm doing well, Kartha. How are you, friend? How's the new job treating you? That time in May was a really powerful time. I'm still kind of tripping out about that, Shan. It really kind of illuminated to me again how psychedelic weed can actually be. I feel the same way lately. It's okay, Kartha. And we had a whole stream in this week about that topic exactly, dude. Where I went into this like deep understanding slash exploration of when you don't feel like yourself. The reason you're not feeling like yourself is because you're changing. That you never have been yourself. You're ceaselessly in this state of changing, right? I feel the same way. Though things were going great in my relationship, proposed a weekend or two ago, got a yes, engaged, but now she's mad over trivial stuff. Ew, Kartha, dude. And it was too. Aside from the things that we've been good, work has been good, I had 8 surgeries in my sinuses 2 days ago. Recovering well. What the fuck? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for cursing. Kartha? Like we don't see Kartha for like I think it was less than 2 weeks, and in like less than 2 weeks, he proposed to someone. He's now engaged and also had 8 surgeries on his face. In the meanwhile, what the fuck, dude? What life are you living, Brother Bay? I'm happy that you're here now. How are you doing, dude? I'm happy that you're recovering well, man. It's cool. It's been a lot. It's been a roller coaster. I can only imagine, dude. Damn, damn. It just kind of shows me again how how much difference there can be in this human experience. I'm okay. I'm happy to hear that about the bear. Alien, dude. Your experience, the experience that you had, the infinity that you're experiencing is literally alien to me. That if I had to now be Kartha, as I am, as we all are, if I had to switch from being Melt to being Kartha, it would be so alien. I could just as well be on a different planet, even though I would be in the planet that is Kartha. Sounds so fucking weird. I'm sorry. Congratulations, Kartha. How exciting. I think how envious you were to ask her out. I'm happy to see the duality, Shan. For me, I'm just feeling into the fact that they're fighting about trivial stuff now. Like a week after getting engaged. And like you weren't here for yesterday's stream topic, but I was kind of talking about how I'm at a point where I don't know if I care anymore about relationships. Not relationships in the context of friendships, but relationships in the context of romantic, pursuits. Like, dude, you're stronger than I am, man. Sending you so much love. I hope it gets better. I'm sure it will. It's a wild ride. We are on. Wait a second. Uh, it is alien to me too, and it's so wild and this and that and up and down and the ebbs and flows. Exactly, dude. It's a wild ride. We're all on different routes. We're all on different routes, but we're all here now, right? That's the trip of it. That there is everything within infinity. Literally everything. You cannot imagine something that isn't within infinity. And the trip is everything within infinity is right now. Is like literally right now. That there is nothing. There's nothing to be had, nothing to ask for, nothing to strive towards. There is everything. We get to still choose within this everything, surely. And that's the beauty of being a human being is that we can choose. We have the power to choose, if you will. But everything, dude. Yes, like literally everything, man. Oh, brother Bear. And within that everything, within those different roots, we're all here. We're all here in this moment together. Love you, Kartha. You're doing your best, getting through it. All kinds of healing thoughts to you. Thank you for that. Hopefully, to the same place and peaceful in the end, Law. I'm sure it will, Kartha. It's just a matter of time sometimes, dude. Maybe we have a wonder week. Maybe. Maybe. Has it been good streams? Even though I might have been different, has it been good streams, Joy Vive? Have you felt you gained as much as you could have gained? Or have you been like, Melt losing his touch? Do let me know either way, Tell me wherever my touch is so I can go and get it. Yeah. Do you say bad words? Sometimes. Sometimes. I don't really think of words as bad. I think of words as having association. So sometimes I'll say a bad word and then I'll say sorry because I know some people might have association with it. But I believe that words are supposed to convey information slash understanding, and we have assigned certain amounts of power to certain words. And then alongside the word, all of that assigned power comes along with it. So I'm more using the power than I am using the word, right? How about you, Scott? I was told yesterday that the ego isn't bad because it's balanced between doing whatever we want and nothing at all. Mm, mm. I like that. That is technically what Meltmore is to me as well. In that case, Maxine, like Meltmore is technically the ego I've chosen. Instead of just being the ego I've been assigned, I get to choose what ego I want to be, and that is what Meltmore is to me. It's the balance between doing whatever I want and doing nothing at all, right? Technically, I can do in this place. I can run around in circles. I was gonna say run around in circles naked, but I don't know if I actually can run around in circles naked. I can just run around in circles if I wanted to, right? But I have kind of eliminated the possibility of doing nothing from a point of wanting to do something. What an interesting thing that is to say. Thank you, Maxine, for sharing a little bit of information, friend. I appreciate that. Sorry for any of the wind noise to your friends. Wedding planning can be stressful. She's probably feeling it all. Lots of emotions going on. Sending you positive healing energy, friend. Thank you for that, Shan. Good point and good kind of like note to bring into the understanding as well. Always good streams. Happy to hear from you, my online friends. Nothing is always the same. We ebb and flow like the tides. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Joy B. I feel it gives me kind of a sense of, I don't know if pride is the right word, but like a almost like pride, justness, maybe justness. The fact that I get to be but a person, and you get to see this person that I am ebb and flow, go through positivities, go through negativities, and then get to be present within all of that. And instead of pretending, kind of like catering what I show to you friends in a way where, oh, look at this perfect life I'm living. Look how I smile. Look how I happy, always happy. Smile, look here. I actually get to be the person that I am. And the fact that you friends, are just people with me makes me so happy. To know that I'm not alone. Totally. I brought you here. I can take you out. Ah, yes. I feel that one, Lynn. My mom only used it a few times. Hey, Jeff! Oh, yeah. Aliens absolutely exist. Brother Jeff, I'm pretty sure you do, dude. Pretty sure you do exist. You too. We're pushing along, friend. Thank you for asking. I hope you're well. I'm doing well on B. I'm aware, present, I'm hopeful. But in the words of God, cautiously so. Shirt looks expensive. It was. I'm trying to convert in dollars. $14? It's a $14 shirt, friend. I mean, it was a $2,500 Balencio. Is that a famous brand? Balencio, Gucci, I believe is one of the other ones. Supreme, yes, Galencio Supreme Gucci. $5 million shirt I'm wearing, dude. Yeah, means I have a lot of money, which means you should be giving me even more money. That's how it works on the internet, right? Lung sensors. I'm happy that you like that, Scott. The lung sensors. Melty, are you gonna do a sober October? I want to try it. I think so, Maxine. I do think I'm gonna do sober October. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm worried about my caffeine, but I'm not so worried about the weed. I'm not just a person. I identify as an immortal goblin, but yes, so glad you could just be you. Yes, the immortal goblin. Technically, you're just a person as a body. gateway process. But beyond that body, we are the same person. We are the same alien. We are the same consciousness that is within all aliens. Having that consciousness within us right now is in fact alien, instead of not having it, like that part. So that instead of having to be this consciousness, just pure consciousness, completely in the center of everything, alone, if you will. We get to be these consciousnesses together with other human beings, and specifically human beings because I can human being at you. I can make sounds and you can be like, yeah, you high ass alien. I'm not even high right now. That's the best part, friend. I'm like completely sober. I had some coffee. I did have some coffee. I made myself some coffee by crushing my own beans. I did that for the first time ever today. And I was like, yeah, yeah. Crush my own beans. Yeah. Brazilian beans, thank you for that, Anvi, for sending some love, lung sensors. Hey, hey, so good to see you. Hope you and the family are doing so great. Thank you, Jeff, for the love. Smoke sensors, go burn. If God created all, then God created cannabis. I wonder if Jesus would smoke with us. Absolutely. I feel cannabis would be a sacred medicine. That is, unironically, one of the biggest things that I would love to do. You know, like I grew up in an Orthodox Christian household, and I was thinking about this today. Almost like from a place of victim consciousness. The injustice that was done unto me to be raised in a Christian household, and I was thinking about it in this context of having kids myself one day, and then bringing my kids to see my dad, and then my dad profusely trying to convert them to Christianity. And I could experience myself getting angry as a dad at my dad with my teaching my kids things that he taught me that didn't serve me, that I don't want my kids to be taught. Not even having kids in the first place. Yes. Yes. Sitting and meditating, getting angry. For fucking nothing. This is the beauty of the human experience, is how good we are at telling ourselves stories. But I was just thinking of it from this perspective of doubt. Like the amount of doubt, the amount of what if, the amount of, oh, maybe it's like this, or maybe it's like that I have in my beingness at all times because of my Christian upbringing. Like the whole system is built on, you are wrong, you cannot save yourself, you need something, this entity, this deity to save you, right? And if you don't accept this entity, this deity, then you're damned forever. And these imageries that we have seen as a collective society have been so powerful. The amount of Christian movies my parents made me watch as a child, like the amount of information, Christian information that's in my brain at this point, is an atrocity. Like if I had all of that space to explore differently, if my dad taught me philosophy, just straight up taught me philosophy, and you know the understanding that I'm trying to participate in now, maybe I would have been stronger than I am right now. But then again, maybe I wouldn't be who I am at all. So everything is always as it should be. I'm still, and even though I just said that, I'm still struggling with forgiving my dad for trying to teach my kids about Christianity. The kids that I don't have yet. I'm like, Dad, please, dude. Like, I'll teach my kids about Christianity, but I'll also teach them about Buddhism. I'll also teach them about the Hindu philosophies. I'll teach them about religion. I won't teach them to believe in a religion. Yo, like I'm pretty sure that there is like actual psychological damage done to me with the upbringing I had in a Christian household. You friends might even know what I'm talking about. And it's not like from a victim perspective, more so from a conscious perspective. Like the things I'm having to be conscious of, the amount of vigilance that I have to practice with my own thought patterns. Maybe it's a good thing, but it can be freaking exhausting as well. I love that we all just stopped commenting to listen to this experience. You really got captured. I was somewhere else, dude. I was suddenly everything all at the same time again. Just breathing, right? And it was again, I believe if I didn't tune into breath in the way that I did, I wouldn't be able to tune into that space in the way that I did. Because it was upon recognizing the depth of breath that I was allowed more depth in experience. And I believe that's the truth about every single moment of life. Yes, smoke weed, please. No! No, Calv83! No! No! I'll smoke weed later when I meditate, not right now. I feel like you're manifesting the desired changes into your reality, so you yourself is growing with your manifestations in order to obtain them. Thank you. I believe that as well, Maxine. I actually believe that specifically because the things that I've been manifesting have been budding. Like it's almost like I've been planting seeds this whole time, and then I was like watching the plant grow, and I was like, "Whoa, the fuck? It does that?" And now that plant is making a beautiful flower, and I'm like, "So beautiful!" And now little bees are gonna and come and absolutely twerk on this flower, and then this flower is gonna close back up and start growing a fruit. So I'm like in between the flower stage and the pollinating stage and the closing up and becoming a fruit stage. And now I'm actively watering the plant, preparing, getting ready to be able to eat the fruit. For some reason, my mind went into a montage of me sharpening my teeth for some reason. I don't know what the fruit is made of, but apparently it's going to be difficult to eat. Maybe there's going to be just so much of it. Yeah, how about that? Jumpin' Jack is here. Hey, you boom! Jumpin' Jack is joining us. Thank you for joining us, Brother Bear. How are you doing, man? Uh, Booper, I saw this lady at the store that looked almost exactly like you. I tripped out and walked up to her, but her hair was purple. How trippy. How trippy. An Aunt B with purple hair somewhere in the universe alongside us. Good morning to the Gab Nugget. Thank you for joining us, Brother Bear. It's nice to have you. Do a somersault. Mm. It's not summer just yet, and I don't have any salt. Otherwise, somersault would have just been, oh, it's so hot. It's very hot. Wow. Oh, look, I'm sweating. Can I get an iced tea? I don't know how to do somersaults, Fred. Thank you, though, for the encouragement. Even Heather, I'm doing well. Beloved friend, how are you doing? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling aware of my own thought patterns. I had a moment today where I was kind of looking out and I was doing this. And I was like, huh, this feels angry. Am I angry? No. And then I did this. Oh! And then I felt better. And I was like, huh. Huh. Hmm. 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 So aware, just aware, Heather. I've been trying to be a little bit more aware, even of my own body language. Like my body might be saying something, and then I'm like, no, body, what are you saying, yo? And then I stop saying that, and then I feel better for it. I'm just trying to notice if I'm not noticing in other parts of my life. How about you, Heather? What's been present for you, friend? It was so trippy. I'd love to meet you accidentally out in the world. It would be pretty cool, actually. Love you. How are the rest of you, friends? Thank you for asking, Heather. Keep moving. How are you, ma'am? How's your mama? Do let us know. Just stopping in to say good morning. Just say please. It's been a while, friend. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon. I've met Goddess Booper in person. Are you serious? You serious, Gob? You met Goddess Booper? Like a female version of Gob. Gob, if you don't marry her, dude, I'm gonna come and marry her. I don't even know who it is, but marrying, just like I would marry Gob, non-goddess Gob. That dude would make life an absolute blessing. So a female god, damn, dude. Damn. Oh, Heather says relationships are interesting. One minute you can't get enough of the person, the next you're snoring so loud, you're contemplating taking your pillow and putting it over there. You're just kidding. I get you. I do get you. Living with someone is a whole different dynamic. You know, and we had a friend actually share that with us yesterday, Heather, where she mentioned it's almost like the imagination of the person, of the relationship, of what could be, is more pleasant, more valuable. I don't really know if I want to say valuable, but more valuable than the actual relationship. Triple four right now here in South Africa. Yeah. Thank you, Aunt B, for sharing the link to the Patreon. Saying for those just watching or listening in, check out Mel's Patreon to see his daily works of art. Yeah. So to the friends interested, and the fact that you're here now means that you're already giving something that is, I believe, of infinite worth, right? Your presence, your consciousness, your awareness in this moment. An infinite source going out into infinity in every direction. And you being here right now means information can come into your infinity. And then maybe, if I'm lucky enough, this information can then leave your infinity and touch the lives of other people again, right? So that is what I believe is valuable within this space. You, seriously. But that being said, if you want to support this space financially, you can do so through the Patreon. I do make daily works of art. I make flowers. I have a thing for flowers. Since I was a young kid, for some reason, flowers in this world is the one thing that really caught my attention. Flowers, butterflies. I have a bunch of butterfly. It sounds horrible when I say it this way, but butterfly corpses in cases in my room. I identify with I think of my soul spirit, spirit animal, my soul animal as the little butterfly, and then I think of my inner beast as the lion or the tiger or the bull or some sort of Kiamara. What do you call those things? Combination animals of all three. Where am I going with this? You tell me, if you can tell me where I'm going with this. I'm basically just making the point that I like making flowers, you know, and from this perspective of being a man, being a masculine identifying consciousness in a male body, loving flowers hasn't necessarily been something that is understood in my environment, you know, especially not in the place that I am. And I was weird and worried about that within myself, you know, where I went a long time being unwilling to admit that I liked certain things, you know, at the risk of being ridiculed for liking certain things. And then transitioning from that into where we are right now, where me as a masculine consciousness gets to give to the infinity, which I consider to be feminine, you know, the infinity in this context being the tangible universe, like everything around you to me is feminine, and then your ability to be aware of that is masculine, you know, literally in a weird way being stepped on by everything. Okay, that to me is the balance. And then from that center point, you know, to acknowledge that infinity creating all of the flowers that could ever be, and then from this point to be able to make even more beautiful things, to make more flowers. It's a genuine blessing just being able to make my art, never mind even having your support with that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Aunt B, for supporting me, friend. We have Rabbit in 3D joining us as well. Thank you for joining us, friend. How are you doing? How's life been treating you? How are you treating you? I experienced a rare experience this week. It wasn't an experience filled with good feelings, but it still had valuable teachings attached to it. Even tragedies can be blessings in the right lighting. Hmm. Weirdly enough, Jumpin' Jack, we had Brother Corey share yesterday the passing of Grandpa Louis. He passed away 2 days ago now. And then in the same stream, he also shared with us the beauty of his little daughter, who is like 8 months old right now. And if it wasn't for the amount of tragedy that there is in losing a family member, I don't know if I'd be able to tune in as deeply with the fascination of the new family member. So I completely feel what you're sharing, friend. Tragedies can be blessings in the right lighting. I had a dream I met you, Melty. Manifesting already. A dream we dream alone is but a dream. A dream we dream together and becomes reality. Maxine, was it a good dream? Do let me know, friend. Those moments are the most important, in my opinion. So proud of you. Thank you for sharing that love. On B, you better stop. Not like a hot mess. Nice Alan Watts cosplay. Yes, yes, he did. Yo, you can't do stuff like that. Too long didn't read her. You can't just say stuff like that to me, man. My ego will become this big, dude. I won't be able to fit in one single stream. Can't, can't say stuff. I love Alan Watts so much. Thank you for saying something like that, friend. Melty is the weed. Yes, I'm just ceaselessly stoned. Like the THC content in my body and in my fat has been raised to the point where, as I'm burning energy, there's just like THC molecules becoming radicalized. Always blazed. Was listening to him last night. He is genuinely so in tune. Jumpin says heavy happenings carry significant weight. I'm happy to have the strength to hold the moment and analyze it rather than to be anchored by a moment. You help me feel stronger, so thank you. Thank you, Jumpin. At least you don't have to be strong alone, friend. And you can break, and we will still be here with you, friend, helping you pick up the pieces. Rather than saying, Melty, I'm going through the same thing with my son and my dad, who is a pastor. My childhood/youth was mostly hell, and I want to protect my son from that. Yo, Rabbiton, of course you're here today, specifically with me sharing this trip that I went through today. Again, showing up every single day as an opportunity for serendipity. Like, this is serendipitous. The fact that you're here dealing with the same issue right now. How are you dealing with it, Rabbiton? Please teach me, friend. I need all of the help I can get. My parents made me watch Jesus of Nazareth as a child, and it fucked me up. Me too. That movie fucked me up bad. Like, I straight up, I had nightmares after watching that movie. I was hysterically crying after watching it. I had straight up nightmares. I could not sleep. I had a deep, impending sense of doom for the entire night after watching that movie. Like, that is not how the world should be. That is not how religion. That's not how you're supposed to. That's not the stuff you're supposed to show your kids, yo. Yo, see, fucking. I'm not a victim. Not a victim. Watch all the trauma. I'm not a victim. I've come to find that there is only God, not religion. Everyone's path with God/source is personal, and just because you don't follow the masses doesn't mean it's invalid. Exactly. Maxine, and I've shared this quote a lot of times before, but this is one of the statements I'd like to be true within this streaming community, is that we are spiritual beings. Spiritual beings, that we are spirit fundamentally. And instead of kind of following the traditional model of religion, where everybody agrees on what God is, we follow spirituality, which is the pursuit of what God is. And that spirituality, that pursuit of what God is, starts right here, going into infinity. Can't start anywhere else. Nobody knows. Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows anything. I promise you, nobody knows. Nobody knows Jack. So you have to try and figure it out for yourself, because you are that self. And that is the only thing you have to remember. That God that you're looking for is nowhere else other than within you. You're right, JJJ. That's how I feel. We come away from trauma and loss changed a little each time, even if we don't recognize it right away. It's like this. I'd like to see it as something positive and take away from something that our brains and hearts register. as a negative. Yeah. I feel it's just about the level of awareness, you know? Like we can get so caught up with the victim mentality, Heather, where if I wasn't willing to acknowledge to myself today that I was telling myself a story that was making me feel victimized, I would have probably continued, you know? I would have probably continued. Oh, I was, drops even lower, you know. Eventually, I'm just in the ground, getting eaten by microorganisms. Oh, woe is me. No, keep moving. Twerking bees. Yeah, straight up. On those flowers. Thank you. Thank you, Maxine. Thank you, Uncle B, for joining me. It's nice to see you, Brother Brandon. How are you doing, mate? How's the hill? I already asked our beloved Aunt B, but I want to ask you too. My kid loves his grandfather, but knows that he has to keep secrets from him in order to be accepted by him. How brutal. Like that's the thing with me, Rabbiton. I realized that I would have to keep secrets to be accepted by my dad, and I was like, nah, I'd rather not. I'd rather be uber truthful. And I feel weirdly enough, my my dedication to truth, especially when it comes to the way that I live my life, in the long term has served me. In the short term, it caused a lot of tension. In the long term, I feel a lot better for it. You know, having been myself instead of having been someone they wanted me to be. Oh, it's difficult sometimes. Too long didn't reader says everyone's path is personal in the first place. It doesn't mean you have to worship a man in the sky in general. Exactly. That's the point we're trying to make, friend. There is no man in the sky. You know, the traditional understanding of God, in the way that especially the Christian religion perpetuates it, is this understanding that God is separate from you. That there is this God somewhere there, right? Somewhere there, and then there is little old us here, you know, and there's all of this distance, all of these universes, all of this different you know, perceptual realities between us and what this God is. That's, I believe that's the biggest lie we've been told. I don't believe in a man in the sky sitting on a cloud. I believe in source energy. Some people refer to this as God. The thing that we refer to when we say God is just this ultimate source of energy, this point of all creation. But that point of all creation is in you now. If it wasn't, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be aware of what is right now if you didn't have that in you. I got a great stretch on top of the log pile yesterday. Lots of fresh air. I also had some good stretching yesterday, but I woke up with some lower back discomfort. Not pain, discomfort today. That's as a result of all of my stretching. A slow approach certainly helps change the perspective. Growth from the ashes kinds of feeling these days. Oh yeah. You want to tell us about it? Jumpin' Jack? We're here for you if you want to, friend. It doesn't even matter. I use a man in the sky to refer to the abstract deity, whatever your religion is and whether your object of worshipping is. Exactly, friend. That's the point we're trying to make. You know, like today's stream topic was technically touching on that. That we, all of us as human beings, are aliens because we are something else living in this world. To be in this world, but not to be of this world, right? So, in that way, you are the alien. The godness inside of you, the observer inside of you, is so alien, having experienced so much. If you could understand the fullness of what you experienced as that awareness, you would ceaselessly feel alien. If you could notice all of the alien lives that you've lived, this life would be infinitely alien. And to kind of really touch on that fact that that observer is in everything, that there is no man in the sky or object to be worshipped outside of yourself. That's why I'm like so hard on the whole believe in yourself, in yourself. When everything else melts away, that self, that observer, that awareness remains. Combination animals as in griffin. No, no. It's like combination animals as in Full Metal Alchemist. Kamaras? Kamara? Karima? Kamaris? Something like that. Thank you again, Jovan, for the Patreon tag. I appreciate that so much. Loving flowers reminds me of the story of the Ferdinand the Bull. I don't think I've heard that story actually. If you'd be willing to share, if it's not too long, I'm curious. So I have this male friend who only pees sitting down. Your thoughts? Uh, my thoughts are it's none of your business. I don't mean to be mean. I don't like being mean at all. But if your friend likes sitting and peeing, I don't see how that does anything for you. You know, are you going to critique his masturbating technique as well? How he wipes his ass? How he chooses to put soap on his, washing cloth or scrunchie before he washes his body? What pattern he follows is upon washing body? Like why doesn't any of it matter, Fred? Why does any of it matter? I don't have any thoughts, Fred. But I mean, I guess that was my thoughts. Is that it is alien. All of it is alien. Going to the bathroom is an alien thing to do. Especially having been beings that just consume pure energy. Like everything around you is energy. You are energy. So you're smack dab in the middle of energy, being energy. There's no consumption, there's no excretion. There just is. And then having been that, coming into the human experience, having to go and pee, sitting down sounds like the least of my worries. Sounds very normal, in fact. I always feel like I'm rebuilding, usually due to the constant changes that take place and the minor adjustments that get made each day. I'm just in the adjustment phase right now. Rebirth and renewal are the main focus right now. Man, like my mind is being titillated, but I'm not sure exactly what the context of your conversation is. I hope that you're gonna stay strong. I believe you will, Jumpin' Jack. You've been showing up, so consistently throughout it all. So I'm sure you'll be fine. Cartha says, I must go melt. I'm sorry for only now reading your message, Brother Bear. Sending positive energy back your way in hopes that I can receive the energy sent my way. For there must be a balance, right? My face hurts from the sinuses, and I need to take medication and try and shower. Much love, everyone. Aren't we all aliens? Yes, we are, Melita. I think you got to hear me kind of retouch on that topic, but it's so nice to have you here. I was bringing the Melita stick today, and then I was like, no. And here you are, Melita. I should have brought the stick. It's so nice to have you. I touched the stick, technically, so it's basically the same as manifestation. It's nice to have you here, Melita. Excited to do Sober October all over. Yes, me too, Jovan. I'm curious to see how this version of us goes. And I want to make like a ritual of this as well, where every single year we do Sober October. Just so that we can take a month, away from everything else. So that we can have a month of, oh yes, this is what it's like to be base human. And then after having tuned back into being base human, then from that structure, from that stability, from that starting point, we can smoke weed or drink coffee again and appreciate it a little bit more depth in that. Ooh, Sober October sounds fun. Does that count Halloween though, lol? Yes, technically. And that's why a lot of people usually opt out of doing Sober October. We don't have Halloween here in South Africa, man. Okay, so it makes it a little bit easier for me. Well, there is prosperity gospel where giving your money to a religious cause is somehow supposed to increase your material. Yeah, how about that, Joy Vive? You give me your money, and then God, he'll give you more money back. That's how it works. Yes, you give me your money, and then God, somewhere out there, will give you money. Yeah, that's give me all your money, please. Now, like now, if you give it to me like in the next 5 minutes, then God is gonna like double your investment. No, no, only God can give to you. In the same way that only you can give to yourself. If someone else gives to you, that is God giving to you. Like there is no separation in that either. You are me and I am you. Yes, Melita. Friend. All the same alien experiencing our aliens. Have a great day, Cartha. Thank you for the love, friend. So much love to you, Cartha. We'll see you again, dude. Mananoke says, if you don't accept yourself and others as the entity, you are lost. As the entity, you are lost, akin to the circles of hell. So it's kind of true, but only at a certain angle. Like Aesop's fable, accept fable. accept fables. Hmm. I feel that, Mel, very much so. I feel you too, friend. I'm not exactly sure. I think I get what you're saying, okay, but I feel like I'm missing I'm missing some context, certain angle. It's kind of true, but only at a certain angle. We shared a little bit of this yesterday, where if we're all the same being, there comes this competition in us again, where if we're all the same being, am I a better version of myself now than I used to be? Are you the used to be that I was, and now I am who I am after who I was as you? Right? And I believe that linear thinking, right, trying to create an angle, is again separation, where you're like, oh yeah, everything within infinity and everything right now, but you right now is me yesterday. It's like, no, it's still just you right now as everything, just that version of the everything. Definitely had a similar Christian upbringing as well. Comes to terms with it lately. I think we all have to, Lolo. In a way, it's almost like we're melting old traditional, you know, belief systems as well. Alongside growing as a self, we're growing the collective humanity as well. During my religious phase, I definitely had sky daddy issues. Oh yes, I went from being devout Christian, like you know how I am with what I'm doing right now. Imagine me as a Christian. Straight up psycho. Straight up like what a looking back at the version of myself, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna, I'm gonna do this thing. Yes, I remember myself profusely praying, in church. Like one of the most fascinating stories in the Bible to me is the story where a bunch of believers came together in like a get together, if you will, and they worshiped God together. And then as they were worshiping God, they all had these flames appear at the top of their heads, these burning flames appearing at the top of their heads. And it was just like God, I don't know, giving them a recognition or showing them that they are seen. And upon reading this piece of text, and I think I was like 8 or 9 or something like that, I was like, yeah, this right here sounds super gangster. I want I want this. And I was like sitting down, and we had like these, not only did we have church, but we also had band church. So I would go to church twice a week, on Thursdays as well, Thursday night church as well. And then Thursday night church was more music church, where Sunday church was more sermon church plus music church. So it was just music church. And I'm like worshiping. I'm like deep in worship. I'm like, yes, please, I believe without a shadow of a doubt. Show me flames. And I open my eyes and I look at the people and I'm like, no flames. And I go again. I'm like, please, please show me flames. And I look again and there's no flames. And I did that over and over and over and over and over again. And I reached this point where I was like, oh, either he's not listening or he doesn't answer. And then, like, that was while I was pretty young. And I kept aging. And then I started noticing the stuff my dad would do, the way my dad would speak about other people, the way that I was treated as a kid, the way that my understanding of the world was dismissed within this context of, I know because the Bible says so. I know you're wrong because this is what the Bible says. And that mentality being perpetuated over and over again, I not only gained slash developed an extreme dislike for my dad, but alongside that, I developed an extreme hate for God. Where I was like, if this is the way my dad is, why do I want a second one? If this is the representation within the infinity of dad, then something that is infinitely that, I wouldn't even want to get close to that of a stick, you know. And I became an uber atheist. Went like super hard to the other side, being like Bible thumping to uber atheist. And then I got kind of even worse, where it became like again a duty. Every single time I believe in something, it's almost like it becomes a duty in my heart to make sure that it is. And I guess that's ego. Technically it is ego. But in my like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, up to 19, I was just like uber atheist, where I was like, bruh, you die and it's just you turn to worms. That's it. You better live now, right? And it was this extreme, almost like snarky assholishness that came off of me during that time, where I had this sense of superiority, living in a Christian based country, going to Christian schools, having escaped this mentality, and then seeing all of these kids without a shadow of a doubt believing something that they don't even understand why it is they're believing it. And I was like, I was like me, but an asshole. Still being able to word good, I guess, but using my words in order to convince people they're separate, I guess, instead of, telling them that they're that. And then, with this question in my heart, I kept exploring, I kept seeking. I had a bunch of mushroom trips that kind of cured my depression slash hate for life. It allowed me for the first time ever a deep sense of I'm happy to be alive. I'm so grateful to be alive. And I was like, damn, I didn't know thinking that was possible. And it changed my life. And then I kept kind of exploring deeper and deeper into that realm. I never had psychedelic experiences, but always it was these heavy mental rumination slash articulation of complex ideas that would come to me. And then eventually, when I was 20, I decided I was going to smoke DMT. And my intention was, I want to meet God. Like that's literally what I said as my intention before going into that experience. And what I met was just everything. Was myself as everything. And I came back from that experience more certain of our unity than ever. And I guess if I didn't get to experience life in the way that I did, being a Christian and being an atheist and then finding balance within spirituality, then I wouldn't be here now. So maybe Sky Daddy issues helps, Jovan. Who knows? Sky Daddy makes me smile. It does, doesn't it? Oh my goodness, yes. Love me some spicy mouth. Thank you, Joy Beef. I'm happy that I can share some of this. The magic of the stick never disappoints. I love that stick so much, Melita. Unironically, I really love that stick. Aesop's fables. You might love them. Greek fables teaching morals through animals. I don't think I know about that. I think I've heard about it, but I don't know if I know about it. Did you miss? Did I miss some melt spice? The best, like enough melt spice to make your asshole burn. Why am I so vulgar today? I'm sorry. Maybe it's not because I'm sober. Yes, I'm vulgar because I'm sober. Sober melt is vulgar now. That's starts cursing like a pirate. My intentions for dolphins was I'm going back home. Yeah, and you did, huh? You're like, oh, I know this place. How do I know this place? This place shouldn't be known by something like me. Like if you go into the DMT experience, the fact that you can know anything at all in an experience like that is absurd. Like you're not supposed to come back knowing anything. In the dream, you didn't fit the shirt I sent you, Melty. Just like looking uber jacked in your shirt. I like it, Maxine. I'm down for it. Love you, friend. Keep taking care. Thank you. Tech Titus joining us as well. Love you, friend. I'm okay. My mom is healing slowly. I think we are all now trying to reconcile our feelings from sounds and images that stuck in our minds from the incident. It's tough. I want my days filled with love and laughter rather than worry, fear, in reliving the trauma. The trauma is, the trauma was, trauma might be again, but right now it's not, you know. I completely get where you're coming from, though, Heather. I'm not trying to make any less of what you're feeling. Stay strong. I know you will. Keep showing up. Melty, I will message you on Discord and tell you how I'm dealing with my son and my dad. Thank you, Everton. I appreciate that, friend. Talk Therapy Thursday. Come share anything you'd like today at 1 p.m. CST, focusing on mental wealth. Mental wealth. I believe the greatest mental wealth you can get is to start believing in infinity, right? To see yourself as that infinity. And it's not from this perspective of trying to get infinity, because there's no getting infinity. Infinity doesn't necessarily have a place within this realm of the finite. But when you tune into that infinity, when you recognize yourself as that infinity, the finite takes on an air of deep tangibility, deep appreciation for just what is. Thank you for being with me, for being that which is, for being the wealth in my mind. I appreciate that, Auntie. Heath Ledger, the one and only friend. I am Heath Ledger, pretty much as you are as well, but not anymore. No? Yeah. I may join you today. Thanks for the reminder. Thank you, Jumpin. Do tag some friends. Thanks for putting that out in the universe, Booper. Thank you for connecting with our Key Chimera. Chimera. Is that the way you say it? Thank you, Jumpin. I appreciate that, friend. If you'd ever like to talk more personally or even get some feelings off your chest, I'm here and would love to listen. Thank you, Heather. You know the same extends to you too, friend. Ferdinand was a bull who would rather stay in the field smelling the flowers all day rather than be in the bull fighting ring. Yes, of course he was. Straight up gangster. Why would you want to bullfighting? Bullfighting is where dudes with swords kill bulls, right? Asshole. I mean, like, yeah, I could go and die, but how about smelling flowers? How about that? Tech Tights, always love to you. Had to take a call. What did I miss? A bunch of stuff, Uncle Becky. You cannot step away for a second. You'll miss things. Unfortunately, the space is that way. And you know the double unfortunate thing is so much stuff happens where even I can't keep up. So we're at least here now, Uncle Becky. There's nothing. There's nothing to be had, nothing to be learned. There is, which is miss our dear friend Tech Tight. We don't hear from him. You're in our minds and hearts, even when you're on chat. Always present, friend. Thank you for that, Heather. How beautiful. I really appreciate that, friend slash sister. You are an absolute gem. I hope you are remaining balanced and peaceful in your current situation. Big love. Mm. I'm seeing what looks like a candle flame, but it is completely blacked out, so like dark. And then around, like the edge, the light is still being emitted, like it's a candle, but the actual candle was like fluttering, completely blacked out, and then the light coming off of it. Thank you, jumping. Sending big love to you too, friend. You rang? I was hitting on you. Raised Catholic, stopped practicing after moving from home. I love the community and the support feelings that stem from that faith, but I can't merge the fear, shame, and rejection that often accompany it with what is supposed to be invitational purity. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the thing that bothers me as well. You know, the reason religion is as popular, and I want to say popular as it is because of the community. You know, like you, upon believing in the Catholic Church, you can go to a Catholic church, and then there will be a bunch of other people that believe the same thing that you do. And then, based on that mutual belief, you can talk to them. You can be in a community with them because you share this mutual belief. The thing that we, as a society, I believe, have to transition to is the mutual belief that everyone is God, that everything is God. You know, instead of it just being like, oh, God is this thing. You believe in this thing that's God, right? Yeah, I also believe in this thing that's God. Cool. Now we can share some space because we believe in this thing that's God. Versus, oh, you're God. Tell me, teach me, show me the world through the eyes of God from your perspective. And if we can have that, then you can be in a community with anyone. You can be in a community with the person standing in front of you in the grocery store. Just have a conversation with them about what's going on. you know, see God in everything instead of just seeing God in religion. This is an excellent explanation for my take on religion. Well said. Thank you, Jumpin. A romance spurring right here on Reddit. Imagine if they get married and they have kids and then they buy a farm together and then they create a community, and they host like an online community based on like a physical community space, and then they like build like huts and stuff where people can come and stay on this like beautiful community, and it's like a body of water, and it could be like bonfires and swings and goats. Imagine how cool that would be. Just imagine. Can you imagine? What? I don't have to imagine. Thank you for that. I appreciate it so much, Heather. Thank you for the helpful tech type. It's so nice to have you in the space with us. Kai Mirror Ra. Mirror? Really? Chimera? Chimera? Chimera. 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 Thank you. Thank you so much, Maxine, for making sure I get it. Snacky story? Snacky story. Suddenly, my brain breaks. Thank you. Congratulations, Leo CERN. You have stronged me out, dude. Snaky story. Snacky story? I have a few snaky stories of a puff adder coming through underneath my door, Eva manically barking, her choosing that day to be in the room with me, which she usually isn't, and then instead of jumping down and trying to take care of the snake, she stayed on the bed, safe striking distance away, and barked at the snake. If she tried to do something, Puff Adder has the fastest strike of any snake in the world, and it kills you. Kills you dead. Little snaky dude was just cold. I remember. They could even get a horse, have a couple of babies. It'll be cute. I'm pretty sure. Huh? Sounds like a whole vibe. Should call it something like Haywire Hill. I think that sounds good to me. My intention for dolphins was I'm going back home. I feel home right now. Being completely sober, having drank some water. There's nothing that I need. I feel this is exactly this moment, this feeling that I have right now is why I wasn't supposed to smoke today. I worry sometimes. Like I feel smoking weed does help. Like it's almost like it's a conversational fuel. Like you friends have noticed where I'll smoke some weed and then I'll just start ranting. And it really is this way where I set the intention that is like the unearthing of the fractal. Like as soon as you set an intention, you open up like the center point of the fractal. And then you touch on that fractal, and then you smoke some weed and you put some information in that fractal. And then it spreads out into the fractal, the rest of the fractal. And that fractal expression makes me want to words. And I can sometimes feel dependent on those fractals, but they are always there. They never go away. It's just about the flow. And we get to flow together, and that's why I don't think of it as bad, but I don't ever want to get to the point where I think I need it, where I stress about coming into this space without having weed. Like I should never get to that point. I caught a 3 meter long coach whip snake that was living in the pump house. He wasn't very happy about the meeting. He's just like, bruh, there's like this whole pump house just for me. And now you're straight up harshing my mellow. Please, dude, get out of my space. I mean, would you be happy jumping jack? A 3 meter long snake, dude. That dude has been around. That dude has eaten some things to be 3 meters long. I don't know what a coach whip snake looks like. Couch whip. I don't know what it looks like. But I do love snakes. A 3 meter snake That's a lot of snake, dude. That's a lot of snake. Lower back pain can be awful. I finally received some special shoes that are made specifically for spine pain. They feel fantastic. Going to go on a walk after the stream. Thank you. Thank you, Alien Technology, for providing shoes specifically made for spine pain, for allowing Maxine the abundance to afford says spine pain shoes, and for allowing her the legs to use these shoes and go and walk outside, for allowing her an outside within which she gets to experience an infinite amount of beauty, and within that infinite amount of beauty, she gets to share hers. Thank you, Maxine. So much love to you, friend. The whole spine is a lemon. I'm so grateful they made shoes for this. It's a lemon. It's worth celebrating. Yeah. Back pain. The center of your being. It makes oh, it makes things harder than it needs to be. People that have spine pain are absolute superheroes. Finishing finish the other story. What happened to it? I killed it, Joy V. How did you get it out of the room? I killed it. That's why I didn't want to finish the story. And then I was thinking about that. And that's why I mentioned he was just cold. It was kind of smack dab in the middle of the winter. He came into the room. The dog was barking at him. He was arcing back, ready to strike at something. And I slayed him with my staff. Looking back now, I wish I had done things differently. But I was so scared of my dogs getting hurt that I made a rash decision. The problem is just the fact that he was at our home. You know, if he came during the day, one of our dogs would probably be dead. You know, and then the whole question of is any life worth more than any other life? I love my doggos too much. I love my family too much. We've had black mambas in our house as well. We lost a puppy, Kiko. You friends? I don't know if you friends ever knew Kiko, but he was also a Jack Russell, and he gave his life killing a black mamba. This place is beautiful, but it does have some dangerous critters. I'm sorry, Joy Vive. Thank you for asking, though, friend. Sharing everything, after all. Yeah, Maxine, I'm certain your back will feel so much better. Hmm. Manifesting that with you. I see. For some reason, I'm seeing candles today. I saw another candle. This time, orange flame. But specifically, I was seeing the black little wick. Yeah, the black little wick, you know, and its textures as it was holding this flame together. Maybe seeing the black wick as the spine in this moment, providing the structure for the flame to be in the first place. Crazy story. Thank you, Cavendish. It's not one I'm like it's one that actually hurts me, dude. It's one that actually hurts me upon retelling it because I understand where the snake was coming from, you know. Like my room had a heater in it and it was winter, which means that as he was like in the world, and I believe they have like infrared sensors. You know, they can like literally detect heat in their environment. He was literally seeing this universe. You know, like this hole in my door, underneath my door, just like pulsating heat out of there. And he was like, Yossi, whatever that is, I need to get up in that. And then he got up in that, dude. And then I woke up 3 a.m. in the morning, bewildered, and my monkey really kicked in, dude. I couldn't be I couldn't be as present as I wanted to be. Black Mamba, that's terrifying. Oh yes. Oh yes. Especially since we literally found a skin, like a, you know, they shed their skins. It shed its skin, so it got in through my brother's window and then went up railing of the window, and then in that little those two bars that hold the curtain up, it like worked its way through there to get the skin off of itself. So not only was a black mamba in my brother's room, but there was a black mamba shedding its skin in my brother's room. And when a black mamba sheds its skin, it's like 3 times as crazy, because then it is technically more vulnerable than it usually is. It's sensitive. It just bites anything. Sometimes we must terminate the threat. It isn't our first choice, but it is a sad fact about life and death. Oh yeah, jump in. Yeah, I wonder sometimes, how things could be differently, but things are. Suffering at the end of the day is wishing for things to be differently. And I feel myself suffering upon wishing for things to be differently. I freaked out if I have a small spider and you're slaying puff adders. Yeah. Yeah. Oh goodness. I don't want to ever again though. Like the thing I'm thinking is, how could I have done it differently? If I could go back and do things differently, what would I do? Would I try and get like a plastic bin and shimmy him into the plastic bin and then carry him into the field and then throw him out into the field, something like that? Probably. Practicing that fractal so that next time I'll have a little bit more intuition. Thank you, Cavendish, for the love, friend. Very true. It'd be cool to be the It has to be about protection, friend. I'm thankful you chose safety, as hard as it may have been. Hmm. The aliens, you know. Weirdly enough, as soon as I said the aliens, Pippi was like, "What? The aliens?" No reaction the second time though. Yeah, technically an alien as well. You know, an alien came into my room, and unfortunately, I knew things about this alien. The fact that he can strike me faster than I can blink my eyes. Literally. That's how fast they strike. 120 milliseconds. As fast as you can blink your eyes, that thing puts venom inside of your body. It wasn't venomous. I didn't kill the coach whip, just subdued and relocated it. That's amazing. I'm happy to hear that, Jumpin' Jack. Thank you. Man, I don't feel about killing wasps or yellow jackets. Huh. Weirdly enough, I feel bad about killing wasps these days as well, Cavendish. I feel bad about killing anything, dude. I don't even step on ants anymore. Like, I unironically step around the ants. Like, even the wasps, I've gained a sense of compassion for because I know technically they're just living life. They're just experiencing the same consciousness as I am as a wasp. And they do take care of spiders. So if you don't like spiders, the more wasps there are, the less spiders there are. I feel you melt. I feel bad if I kill a bug. There we go. Most see a life like a fly, insignificant. But I'll whatever I can. I'll do whatever I can to save one. Let alone a snake. I know you didn't want to take the life, but sometimes it's necessary. Don't beat yourself up too much. I'm trying not to, friend. I'm remembering this again, and I've thought about this in the meanwhile, feeling this way about it. So now I'm just feeling again what I felt, and I'm paying attention. I'm being present with what it is I'm feeling instead of trying to run away from it. But unfortunately, it can be a little bit exhausting, both to you friends and to myself when I do that. The cricket sounds as large as your poppers. Might be. Pippi seems to be laying in a distance. Maybe the cricket's gonna come for her. Speaking of aliens, have you ever seen the movie Fire in the Sky? It's based on a true story of abduction. I haven't actually. Fire in the Sky. Is it I don't know if it's the same, but is it the movie where the alien spaceship had like this shape in the ground that it would exactly land onto? And then there was this woman that'd been abducted before, and then she was getting flashbacks, and then this dude was shooting the movie from the perspective like he was a documentary maker. I don't know if it's the same movie, but for some reason it triggered the same fractal. I try not to kill anything that I don't eat exactly. Bugs and spiders and critters and creepy crawlies, they're just trying to do the same thing I'm doing. Exactly, dude. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Is that they're the same alien in this world that we are. The observer experiencing life through the eyes of a spider, through the eyes of a bug, through the eyes of a snake. And there's no separation in that as well. You're killing yourself. You're killing yourself. But this version of self can kill you. So killing him is self-preservation. It's difficult. It's so difficult. I have a wooden alien statue from the town that it happened in. Textile, of course you do. Use a blanket first and press them down. Just be wary. They bite through the blanket. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like plastic is probably where I'd be the most comfortable, shimmying him into. Because you can't necessarily bite through it and it's too slippery for him to sail up on. I enjoy snakes that are other people's well-fed pets, but an outside killer snake, nah. I'm having an ant infestation right now, and it's terrible. All bugs belong outside. Once they enter my home, their lives are forfeit. Yeah, like for me, it's usually the personal space. Like you can do whatever you want to in infinity. But as soon as you're doing whatever you want to on top of me, then you're like, oh well, I guess life, who even needs it? Ants in the house, and then there's the caveat of like infrastructure. Like you can literally have your house destroyed by insects as well if you're not too careful. It's difficult, right? Like the fact that we as a community are fighting moral quandaries with our killing of insects, normal people, normal, not non-aliens, just murder things nilly-willy, not thinking twice about it. And then us aliens are like, oh damn it, I stepped on that freaking ant. Oh no, the ants! Oh no, please ants, please stay outside. I don't want to murder you. And mice. Oh goodness, the mice. They also destroy so many things. They really like destroying things. Mice are very destructive little creatures. They can't be satisfied with being somewhere. They have to destroy everything around it to make the somewhere that they are even more comfortable, which makes sense. Technically, that's what human beings do as well. But they do material damage to everything around them. Hmm. It wasn't a woman. It was a man who got abducted and was gone for 4 to 5 days. It calls the friends that saw him get abducted from a payphone, naked in the rain. It's a crazy story. I don't think I've heard that one or seen that one just yet, Maxine. Sounds pretty cool to me. How you coming these days, mate? I'm feeling good. Glutens. Still showing up, still being present. I'm still here. I saw you like a year ago. Like your energy. Yeah. Thank you for joining me again, friend. It's nice to see you. I'm gonna be doing this forever. Stay away. Stay sway. I don't know what that means, but I'll stay as sway as I can be, friend. I hope you stay sway too. Ah, we'll see you in a year again or something, glutens. They were like, hey dude, good to see you're staying sway. See you in another year or something. Glutens, I hope you're staying well as well, friend. We have Megas Khan saying, do you still have the roommate who was aggressively filling the dishwasher? He did not seem to love your Reddit streams. Aggressively filling the dishwasher. You might be talking about Christian. Like he wasn't technically my roommate. He invited me over to stay with him, and he does in fact love my Reddit streams. He even tunes in sometimes. He even co-hosted some of my Reddit streams. He's just a very spicy individual. He's like the opposite archetype of what I am, where I am uber hopeful and I believe everything is love and light. He is pessimistic and he believes that there's mostly darkness. And then I'm like, oh, love and light. And he's like, but darkness. And I'm like, yeah, but darkness. But love and light. And he's like, yeah, but darkness. And I'm like, yeah, but love and light. And he's like, but darkness. And I'm like, yeah, but love and light. And that's our relationship, friend. There's no hate. There's just, a back and forth between us two. Did y'all see the video when the man had a poisonous spider that got caught in a cobweb? A spider that got caught in a cobweb? That is actually already a trip. It came over by the man and it slowly lifted each leg for the man to get the cobweb off. Remarkable. They aren't friends. How dare they look so cute? I think I know what you're talking about. It was this spider, like I think it's like a land or a roaming spider. And as he was roaming through the house, all of the little pieces of fluff and stuff got all caught up in his arms. And then a human being goes up to him and presses down on the fluff that is stuck to his little arms. And then the fluff is like stuck to the ground, and then he pulls the fluff off of his arm, and then he places his next little paw, and then he pushes down and he pulls the fluff off of his arm. This little freaking spider was straight up, having his life changed by a human being. Whether you don't drive a car in Missouri, you will kill thousands of bugs. Oh goodness, all of the bugs just going suicide. I lurk time to time. Mr. Chubb, I've seen you before, friend. It's nice to see you again. Thank you. Stay swag. Okay. Thank you. I'll stay sway and I'll stay swag. Swag within the sway within the swags. I saw that one. Spiders have paws. Yes, they do. Spiders have little hooks, technically, that they hold onto their lines with. They tension them. It's kind of trippy. They have beautiful little feetsies. I have strong feelings when I accidentally step on snails or beetles. I think it's just about respect for living entities. We're trying to see God within everything, Jumpin' Jack. And I feel it's so beautiful that we made that point again, so close to the end of the stream. Seeing the aliens, seeing ourselves within everything, even within the aliens. When you know what it feels like to be an insect, it's easier to care for them. That's a good point. Yoda versus Darth Vader. Yes! With a little pencil or tweezer, the spider lifts its legs. It was going bonker. I was going bonker watching that. I don't want to think of them so cute. They're us. They're us, Heather. That's you as a spider having a bunch of fluff on your feet. And then you as a human being sees yourself as a spider with a bunch of fluff on your feet. And you're like, let me help you, little fam. And then you as a spider is like, yes, love is true. A human being is helping me. Take the fluff of my little spider feetsies. Why would you do that, human being? The little spider asks itself. What? Again? Apsara's hands. This card is about completion. About completion. Maybe we're coming to a close of this energy that we've been talking about. Maybe we're gonna completely transition to being a new version of self instead of worrying about not feeling like ourselves again. They're so cute. Thank you. Pull a card, make it sing. The Apsaras hands. You know what? I'll make it sing a little bit. Let's see if I can add some singing. Achievement and completion. Gracious, playful female deities called the Apsaras are found sculpted everywhere throughout the great temple complex at Angkor Wat in Colombia. 9 exaggerated hand movements borrowed from these captivating sculptures complement the image of pink water lilies that fill the pond facing the famous temple. 9 is the number of completion. Oh goodness, you actually pulled the number 9 card for me as well yesterday. Is the number of completion. The achievements of the ancient Khmer culture are undeniable. 3 circles offer a sense of wholeness as you contemplate the completion of this chapter of your life. You have accomplished much and realize success in your achievements and realize success in the achievement of your purpose. As you approach the conclusion of this phase, honor the work that you have completed and the decision that have brought you to this moment. It is time now to expand your vision and choose a new path. Each life is filled with beginnings and endings. Even our highest aspirations find completion. Life continues in a manner that is not always predictable, yet, with an attitude of flexibility and a sense of adventure, you will see that new horizons and fresh opportunities are always available. Look to your future with optimism and hope, knowing that magic and new horizons are just around the corner. Magic is just around the corner. Magic and new horizons is just around the corner. The number of completion, friends. Card time! So happy to share card time with you. Makes me so happy. Thank you, friend. Really? I have peppermint oil. Thanks for the tip. Peppermint oil keeps ants away. There we go. Now you know, Joy Reeve. And you actually already have some of it. Yeah, too. Spraying water with peppermint oil around where they're coming in. It will help keep them out. Thank you for the recommendation. Thank you, Chauvin. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Joy Reeve, who might be here as well, alongside Shannon and Joy Reeve. Maybe Gateway? Probably Gateway. Love you, friends on the YouTubes. Thank you, friends on the Reddit. Bonnie joined us as we were reading the card, fulfilling card. Thank you. Completion. Hmm. I feel I feel more into this card than I usually do, especially with what Joy V shared today in stream. Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize until you made the connection. You've completed a phase and now entering the new. Coming full circle again, right? Circles. All of the circles, round and around and around, no winning, but always changing. Circles, but also spirals that form circles, constantly evolving, constantly turning, having the same ratio, having infinite differences. All of the angles, all of the layers, sending soft breeze and cool waters and ample sunshine in your direction, friend. Thank you, Mel. Thank you. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Maxine. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Jumpin. I don't know if Glutens is here still. Thank you, friends. We have so many friends still in this space. 423, it says. 423 souls in this moment with us. Goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you eternally for sharing this moment with me. Have a beautiful day, everyone. I hope I love you all so dearly, Melt, and all of your amazing friends. That includes you Reddit friends over there. You hear that? Did you just hear that? Out of the infinity, out of all of the things that human beings, the aliens, could say to you in this moment, one of the aliens told you, I love you all, especially you, so very, very dearly. Thank you. Thank you, divine entity experiencing humanity. I see you. I appreciate you seeing me. Have an amazing day, dear friends. I'll see you in this space again very soon. Probably tomorrow. Love you. Have an amazing day. Love you, YouTube friends. Love you, Shan. Love you, Jovan. Love you, Gateway Process. Love you, Joy V. Thank you, eternally. Look forward to seeing you friends again very soon. Goodbye, everyone.